Hey everybody, Yori Chisholm here from bagpipelessons.com. Today we're talking about one of the most ignored reeds for pipers. We're talking about the one in your practice chanter. Think about it. Most of us spend way more time on the practice chanter than we do on the pipes. It's where you learn your tunes, it's where you work on your technique, it's where you do your memorization. And for most pipers, it's the instrument you play the most. And a lot of pipers don't give it too much thought. You've just got the reed, it came with your chanter, or a reed you picked up somewhere along the way. It doesn't work as well as it could, it doesn't sound as good as it should. It's annoying, and you just kind of deal with it. It interrupts your practice, but you just decided to live with it. Most pipers have just accepted that your practice chanter reed is frustrating, it gets wet, it doesn't sound good, it cuts out on you, and that's just part of playing the practice chanter. But it doesn't have to be that way. There are 4 problems, and they're all caused by your practice chanter reed. So let's talk about what actually goes wrong so you can recognize it in your own playing. First, bad sound and bad tuning. Your chanter sounds muffled and dull. The notes are genuinely out of tune with each other, really sharp on certain notes, maybe high G. And I'll be honest with you, the tuning that you hear on some practice chanters is horrible. It's really bad. I know pipers who have tape all over their practice chanters, taping the notes to get them in tune on a practice chanter. Listen, if you have a good practice chanter and a good reed, you should not need tape. It should sit at a good pitch and every note should sound good and be nicely in tune. You shouldn't have to blow harder or softer on certain notes to get them into tune either. That's not a technique you need to learn. That's just compensating for a bad reed. And here's the thing. It's usually not the practice chanter, it's the practice chanter reed. Number 2, a shrill, harsh, and loud sound. Instead of a dull, quiet reed or muffled sound, you get a reed that is shrill with a harsh, coarse sound to it, and loud. There's no reason for a loud practice chanter. I'm shocked when I hear people play their chanters and they're really loud with a rough sound. You don't need that. Number 3, a reed that's too hard to blow. Some reeds just take a lot of air pressure. Your lips get tired, your practice sessions get cut short, and you stop before you're done playing what you wanted to play. You should not be working that hard on your practice chanter. It's not what it's for. Number 4, your reed is too easy and it shuts off. A reed that's too easy is really sensitive to moisture and it shuts off too easily. You know how this goes. You're practicing, things are going well, and then all of a sudden your chanter reed cuts out, and then you're taking the reed out, blowing it out, wiping it off, blowing the spit out, doing this over and over. I know some pipers who do this every few minutes during their practice session, and they have a whole pile of backup reeds or backup practice chanters even, exactly for this reason. They swap them out. I know one guy who keeps several chanters going. He plays, and as soon as a reed cuts out, he just grabs a different chanter and carries on. You should be able to practice with one chanter all the way through and get all the playing done with a reed that sounds good, stays in tune, it's efficient, and has a clear sound that's easy to blow. It just plays all the way through your practice session from start to finish without you needing to touch and mess and fuss with your reed. I'm often surprised when I hear other pipers talk about how their lips get tired, and some pipers even say, oh, it's way harder for me to play my practice chanter than my full pipes. That's just mind-blowing to me. There are some genuinely bad practice chanter reeds out there, and most of the time, your chanter is completely fine. It's your reed that's letting you down. So really what you want is a great practice chanter reed that brings out the potential in your practice chanter. So here's how this thing works. A typical practice chanter has 3 parts. The bottom section where your fingers go, the top section you blow into, and inside is the reed sitting in between them. Take off the top, there's your reed. Most practice chanter reeds these days are plastic, and on its own, it just makes this little buzzy sound. It's the chanter body that amplifies and shapes that sound into the tone that you know. The practice chanter top goes over the reed but doesn't touch it. So unlike other reed instruments like the clarinet or the saxophone, the reed is inside the instrument, it's not in your mouth. The reed sits in the reed seat. Now, a lot of new practice chanters like this one have a threaded reed seat, which means you can screw the reed into the reed seat and it holds there nice and snug. Usually your reed is going to come with yellow string. Pipers call it hemp, although it's not actually made from the hemp plant. It's linen thread and it comes in unwaxed or waxed. But what I prefer is dental floss. dental floss is waxed. It comes in this nifty little container. It's got the little cutter on the top, and it does not absorb any moisture. It's not going to swell or shrink, and it lasts a really long time. Now, a big problem with practice chanters and practice chanter reeds is moisture. This right here is the Endurance Practice Chanter. This is a special chanter that I invented and designed and is manufactured in Scotland by the famous bagpipe makers R.G. Hardie and Company. So on most practice chanters, the top is a single piece. On the Endurance Practice Chanter, it's actually two pieces, and inside are the Endurance cartridges, which are cartridges that have Desiccant, which is a material that absorbs moisture. 3 of those go in there. The bottom screws on. You don't even know they're there, but your reed stays dry for your entire practice session for hours and hours and maybe even days. You are not stopping to blow out your reed. You are not swapping chanters. You just play. You get this at bagpipelessons.com/endurance. I'll also link to it below. So let's talk about the practice chanter reeds themselves and what to actually look for. Number 1, a comfortable pressure that you naturally blow. Not straining hard and not so easy that it shuts off with a little bit of pressure. You want it to have a clear, clean sound across the whole scale and be in tune with itself. Low G all the way up to high A. The high A is not super sharp and the high G is not sharp. Every note is in tune with no tape. You also want the right volume. You don't need a super loud practice chanter. This is for working on fingering and expression and memorizing tunes and comfort and stamina. It's not for volume and projection. That's what the bagpipes are for. Finally, you want a reed that's durable, that's going to last for months or even years, and you want it to be matched to the chanter you actually play, whether you're playing a regular length chanter, a long chanter, also called extended length or pipe chanter size, or a smaller chanter, like the children's or junior size. So let's go through 4 of my favorite practice chanter reeds, and I'll tell you what each one is like and why it might be right for you. This is the Walsh reed. This has been my favorite practice chanter reed for years. It's got the white blades and a purple body. They used to be black, but they've been purple for several years now. It has a really nice bright sound. It's really high quality and really air efficient. It works well in all mix of practice chanters. They're made by John and Jean Walsh in Nova Scotia, and they are genuinely hard to get. When I order a batch, it sometimes takes 6 months to arrive, but for me, they're worth the wait. And because I've done the ordering and the waiting for you, you don't have to. Next, we have the red practice chanter reed from R.G. Hardie in Scotland. These are made by Fraser Warnock. This has a really clear, crisp tone, and this might be the most popular practice chanter reed in Scotland. It's got the red plastic, and it's got wrapping that has kind of a shellac on it, like a clear coat. And this is a great practice chanter reed. It has a really nice sound. We have the white practice chanter reed from R.G. Hardie. It's got the white blades and this black body to it. Really mellow and quiet and smooth. This is the one that comes standard with Hardie practice chanters and nice for practicing if you want a little bit quieter. It's got a really mellow, smooth sound and takes very little air. And finally, this is the green reed from Piper's Choice. It looks very similar to the Walsh, but it's a little bit mellower and quieter than the Walsh. It really takes very, very little air, low pressure, and has a little bit of a quieter volume. So I like all of these reeds. My favorite is the Walsh. It's more expensive and harder to get. Also, the red and white reeds from R.G. Hardie are really good. I probably prefer the red one a little bit more, but the white one is really quiet and mellow. And then the green reed from Piper's Choice, also a little bit quieter. So they're all really good and slightly different. If you're still not sure which one you want, check out my premium Practice Chanter Variety 4-pack. It's got all 4 of these reeds in one pack. Saves you buying them each individually. Get them all, try them, and pick your favorite. Whether you like the brighter, crisper sound or a little bit of a mellower sound, whatever suits you and your chanter and how you blow and where you practice, you really get the best of both worlds with this pack. And you've got spares, because you never want to be in a situation where you don't have a reed that is working for you. You don't want your practice chanter to be holding you back. It's a tool. It's for learning. It's for making music. It's for memorization. It's for working on technique, practicing efficiently, with the main goal to get on your bagpipes. So your reed and your practice chanter should not be getting in the way. You want a reed that is maintenance-free and hassle-free so you can pick up and play without fussing with your reeds. This 4-pack is exclusive to bagpipelessons.com. You will not find it anywhere else. You can find it at bagpipelessons.com/reeds, along with links to get all the 4 reeds individually. You want to have good reeds. You want to have reeds you can trust, that work for you, that play when you're ready to play. You never want to be without a good quality reed. So these reeds should not need any breaking in. They are plastic. They are instant. They are good to go. Of everything you could spend money on, a practice chanter reed is the smallest purchase that changes the most about your daily practice routine. You probably spend more hours on your practice chanter than on your bagpipes, and that reed is going to decide how those hours feel, how that practice sounds, and how efficiently you're making progress. You don't have to put up with the practice chanter that sounds bad or shuts off or wears you out. That's just not part of the deal. Check out these reeds at bagpipelessons.com/reeds. I've got the Endurance Practice Chanter 2 and the cartridges at bagpipelessons.com/endurance. Everything I sell in my shop is either something I designed and invented myself or is something I've personally tested, used, and recommend. Life is too short to play bad reeds, and that includes the one in your practice chanter. Thanks for watching. Happy piping. Mahalo.